Good afternoon, traders. This is our afternoon recap for October 1st. It's a little late. It's 9:15 p.m. here in the sunny land of California, and I just got home from being gone all day. So we are going to roll right into this. We're going to start off with IGC. We took a look at the pre-market action, labeled it out, drew some support and resistance, and then I got rid of the Fibonacci, so this is a little clearer to look at. We set our pre-market price action for the day, fell right within that band. Like we stated this morning, it was able to hold over the green support line, indicating a long position. Held that for most of the day. All in all, not a lot of range on this ticker, but good enough to make a little money on. Let's see what that looked like on the daily. On the daily chart, we had our quick parabolic up a couple of weeks ago, and then we had a washout. Then we had another long continuous move that rolled into a parabolic. A lot of the action happened pre-market. And then after market hours today, this thing went even higher. So market sentiment is getting behind it. Next thing we're going to see tomorrow is this thing could possibly shoot way up or decide they're ready to cash out and collect their profits. We'll have to see tomorrow. But what's important is we're looking at the daily price action on the day chart, and that fell right within our prediction range. So very happy with that call out. Next one up, that is going to be NBEV. I have no idea why this ticker gives me such a hard time to type it in, but our pre-market action indicated that it was a steady climb up. After the break of the market, or open of the market, it broke to the high side, did not quite tag the 7.6, which would have been the full 100%, extension above the pre-market high and low, which was down here. It dropped back down, tested that. Old support becomes new resistance, new support becomes old resistance. However the hell you say it, it's late. I've been on the road all day. Our previous support line from the morning action was drawn over here. So it came down, it retested it a couple of times, then it went long. So as long as it stayed above the support line, great indication that you're still okay in a long trade. And then once it finally broke through this trend line, it took a little bit of time as a short. And then once it broke above that support line again, it was back to the long side. Expect to see some more action out of this thing tomorrow. I don't think it's done yet. And then as far as for the pre-market breakdown, even though we capped out at about the 100%, and then right there at the end of the day, it jumped up to the 200% mark, you can see how well it respected that 300% Fibonacci projection from this morning. That's why we went ahead and added these in, because we knew it was going to have a good bit of range. And 300%, that's a pretty good move for the day. Alrighty, next up we have AMD. What did AMD do today? Oh man, look at this thing. I made 3 successful trades off of this today. It wasn't killer, but it was consistent. Again, it held that pre-market support. After the first couple of minutes of the day where it dipped down and broke back above, it came up, tested the pre-market high, broke through, and then held that for the rest of the day. This was a pretty good performer, all things considered. And then looking on a daily chart, once we zoom in and get a look at it, this thing did a really good job of filling in that pre-market price action that we put out. This is, at least 100% of the pre-market action and then some above. It's just offset a little bit, but great price action, great tag and staying within the range. Very happy with this projection. And then looking at this thing, the trend that it's been on, it's kind of slowly coming down just a little bit, but we're wedging in here. I expect to see in the next couple of days this thing's going to have a little bit of a breakout to the upside, or it might tag and come back down below. But either way, this week I think we'll see a little more volatility within AMD. Move this on back. Next up, Intel. Basically, I just threw this on here just because they compete directly with AMD. So I like to kind of keep apples and apples together. You can see it held above the support pre-market, did not break the pre-market high, come back down, tested that support, tried to break out, just didn't have the steam. And then once it broke down below the support, you were back in the short territory, and you could have safely shorted this thing for the rest of the day. What did that look like on the daily chart? Not super impressive. Also, you know, they've lost some foothold to AMD. Yesterday, they had or what was this, Friday actually, Intel had a really good day, had a huge gap up, and then what does it do? It comes on back down to where it wants to be. So I expect this thing might show some more downward potential tomorrow throughout the rest of the week. We'll have to see how it goes with the tech sector. Next up is going to be Tesla. That was all my little stocks. Let's get into the big stuff. When we talked about this morning, we had crazy pre-market range. And what happened? It held the support line for a little while, and then right there before pre-market, it broke down below the support, and it just fizzled out and channel traded all day for about a $4 or so range of motion. Not bad for making money, but still much less than what you could expect from Tesla in a normal day. What did that look like according to the pre-market gap up action? You can see how wide the price spread was. We did not exceed what we had in the pre-market highs and lows, just kind of fizzled out and channel traded, but that's good. Shows a little more stability. So not really disappointed there. It's way easier to make steady money when the price range doesn't fluctuate that much. Next up is going to be TLRY, T-L-R-Y. I hope that's how you guys say it. That's how I say it. Pre-market action on TLRY. It was a steady climber all the way from yesterday, held that pre-market support, held it all the way until it didn't. We didn't break out of the 100% above. We got about, I think that's around the 78 to 82% on the Fibonacci's. And then once it broke down, couldn't do it no more. Bam, it was in short territory. But luckily it didn't plummet. So we stayed and filled out a good portion of the range for the high pre-market high to low. So if you took all of this price action and projected it within here, it would basically give you 100% fill up in here. What's that look like on the daily chart? Very good, very good. Slightly above where we expected her to start off at, but that's good because she never broke the pre-market support and jumped back down up in here. Instead, it held its value, stayed up high. This makes for a great day tomorrow. If this thing keeps popping up like it has done, one of these days when we catch the first red day short on this thing is going to be amazing. All right. What is next? Apple. I don't think Apple had as much action today. It held the pre-market support. Out of the gate, had a little trouble, regained the pre-market support, jumped up above the pre-market high, but did not even attempt the first 100. It stopped out about 20% in. Played around, then it broke through the pre-market support, and then it was in short territory for the rest of the day. All in all, it's not too bad. Did decidedly stay right in the range we put it in, so I'm happy with that one. Let's see, Facebook. Facebook does some weird things. Facebook, pre-market action had support, and then we were measuring from on the 4-hour chart from yesterday, our resistance across the top. Was able to break through that resistance, popped up above, was not able to break the 100% above pre-market. And then as that price action tried to consolidate and come back down, once we broke through the support, came on down, it tried to retest this previous resistance, was too strong. It continuously set in new higher or lower highs. And then once it got to the point it tapped that line for the third time, she broke on down, tests the pre-market lows, broke out a little bit, got above, broke out a little bit, broke above. And as you notice, it's more lower highs setting in. And then what happens? It finally breaks its support of 162, heads down south, makes it about 57% of the way, catches a little bit of support, ratchets its way back up, and consolidates. All in all, very consistent player for the day. Happy that it fell firmly within the range I'd shot out for you guys earlier today. Very, very happy with this price action. This is This is where money is made, guys. Good, solid candle action, predictable, nothing too high, nothing too low. We didn't get one crazy candle that just shoots down by like $50 or whatever, you know, stopping people out, busting accounts. This was predictable. It was repeatable. Everything you need to make money is right there. Next up is going to be NVIDIA. What did this one do? Let's see. Wow, held that pre-market support. The whole tech sector today was just slamming. I like this. I wasn't here to enjoy it all, but we were measuring that pre-market support from the previous day as well. It held it all through the pre-market action, busted up above the pre-market high, 284.05, come up, yeah, it did a little retest, and then bam, yeah, it wants it. After it did this little ascending triangle number here, if you look close, and then we broke the 287, which was actually the 100% above, and we probably broke into 200% territory right about here. If I had to shoot a whale's tail about this thing, actually we can take a look at this real quick since we're only, oh wow, we are 32 minutes into this. Yeah, what the hell, we're 32 minutes in, let's just keep going, right? Apple's the one that gives me the fits, so I will come over here, add this in. I guess I probably should have throw the Fibonacci on there for you guys. Not doing what I wanted to do. We will get this in. It's crazy. Netflix or NVIDIA here doesn't suck me into changing indicators and everything else that goes with it. That's okay. You guys are worth it. Let's go. Let's see here. I'm going to apply this. All right. So where did that Fibonacci put it? The other chart. All right. There we go. That was the 200. And then this would have been the 300. So cool. We can go ahead and get rid of this now. Wow, I am tired, guys. If you're wondering about a little psychological stuff, right? When things that are normally easy for you throughout the day or on a regular day start to become really difficult and your thinking gets a little cloudy, chances are you have reached that mental fatigue. You've exceeded your mental capital for the day. And that's what you're seeing right now out of me, guys. This ain't me being stupid or, you know, don't know what I'm talking about. It's just I've exceeded my brain processes for the day. And once you get to know yourself and your trading habits and all, this is one of those telltale signs. So if I was coming up on the trading open, I would not touch live trading in this state that I'm in now. Just because if I can't get my words straight and I'm stumbling over things like this, no way should I be putting my money into the market. So what you're looking at is this was at 200% above. See, it tested here, tested these two places, tested a 4th place here, 5th place, 6th place, 7th place, 8th place, and tried to test a 9th place. This is bone solid resistance right there. So a little more than what we had originally predicted, but that's a good thing. I'm a little miffed that it was slightly outside of my projection zone, but not that bad. As you can see, it shifted upward. So if I were to have measured my entire range and we went up one, we'd have been right in there. So not perfectly on the ball, but not far enough outside of there that I'm going to get upset about it. And we've set ourselves up for a really nice ascending triangle. Looking at it for tomorrow, if it breaks out of this descending triangle pattern and this support doesn't hold, I expect to see a hell of a pullback off of this thing. And then if it does hold, we'll look at it from the Fibonacci's tomorrow and we'll get into that then. Okay, next up, last one. And that is going to be Netflix. What did Netflix look like? Well, pre-market action, held the support. It broke up above, tests the 100, gets out, hangs right up above there, consolidates, and then when it just doesn't have the guts to hang on anymore and it breaks below briefly, briefly, it retests the 38 or 384, which is the 100% on the Fibonacci. Cannot do it. That support line now becomes resistance, and it gets hammered home. You could have shorted this thing the entire second half of the day, been nice and safe, and made yourself a grand total of 5.4 points out of it. So $5.42. That's not bad. That's hammer range. And then what did it look like on the daily? We'll zoom in here. So our pre-market action, yes, it fell right where it should. We had a little room on the bottom side to go, but that didn't come in because it held up on that support. So this was beautiful. Beautiful capture of the market sentiment, beautiful capture on the range. So I think what we had, one that really fell out of the range, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tickers. So 10 out of 10, or I'm sorry, 10 out of 11 on the button, one of them a little off. I can't complain about that, guys. If you can complain, please do. Let me know. Tell me what I could do to make this better. With that note, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys stayed green. Smash the like button. Tap the subscribe button. Drop us a few comments. Try and catch up with me over on Discord, where we are at every day in the Boiler Room Trading Group. And hope to see you there soon. See ya.